There are three categories of GPS weapons: the JDAM, the JSOW, and the SLAM, or short, medium, and long-range GPS weapon systems. All are guided by GPS-updated INS systems. The SLAM has an IR seeker guided by human interaction via data link. The range of all these weapons is highly dependent on the delivery aircraft's altitude and airspeed, maybe less so for the SLAM. JDAM in the F-18 comes in several configurations. Range is slightly better than the general purpose bomb. The GPU-38 is the 500-pound class guided bomb. Up to 8 can be carried. The GPU-32 is the 1,000-pound class guided bomb. Up to 4 can be carried. The GPU-31 has 4 versions. Versions 1 and 3 are Air Force. The GPU-31 version 2 is a 2,000-pound class guided bomb. Up to 4 can be carried. The GPU-31 version 4 is the 2,000-pound class guided penetrator bomb with a steel nose. Up to 4 can be carried. JSOW on the F-18 comes in 2 configurations. Range is much better than the general purpose bomb. The AGM-154 Alpha is the wing canister glide bomb. Up to 8 can be carried. The AGM-154 Charlie is a wing glide bomb, and up to 8 can be carried. SLAM on the F-18 comes in 1 configuration. However, it can be employed with or without the DL-13 pod. Range is significantly better than the general purpose bomb. The AGM-84 Echo is a jet-powered cruise missile. Up to 4 can be carried. All GPS weapons use either pre-planned or target of opportunity methodology to enter coordinates. Both PP and TOO coordinates can be entered on the ground or in the air. Pre-planned coordinates must be entered by hand. Eventually, I hope, ED will include a way to enter PP coordinates automatically via some sort of data module. PP coordinates are stable and can be entered in any order. However, I recommend that PP coordinates be entered in the same order as target of opportunity coordinates must be entered. Once in the aircraft, I demonstrate TOO entry and highlight problem areas. Targets of opportunity coordinates can be entered using a combination of the HUD, the HMD, the FLIR pod, the ground radar, or via waypoint or mark point designation. The HUD, HMD, or ground radar are great for steering the targeting pod to the target area. Then the FLIR pod should be used to fine-tune the aim point. Coordinates entered using waypoint designation can be entered at any time, including on the ground, but closer to the target is generally better for reasons discussed shortly. One of the main differences between the two methods of coordinate entry is that the target of opportunity mode coordinates are automatically entered into the selected weapon anytime a target is designated. If a target remains designated by any sensor, those coordinates will be entered automatically into any weapon that is subsequently selected. So if you prefer that not all your bombs land on one target, remember to undesignate the sensor after coordinates have been properly entered. To properly enter 8 sets of coordinates using target of opportunity mode, enter coordinates in both weapons TOO1 and TOO2 on the selected station before you step to the next station. Once the final weapon is designated, undesignate the active sensor before selecting any other station or weapon. Then go to each station and ensure that the first weapon, TOO1, is selected to ensure an efficient release sequence. Finally, release order is important. The coordinates that are in the weapon about to be released are those coordinates currently selected in either T001 or T002. Normal drop sequence for single weapons does not automatically select the second set of coordinates, T002. That must be done manually. So the normal manual release sequence for GPS weapons is to drop all T001 weapons first, then select T002 for each station prior to pickling. Confusing maybe, but easy. Just pickle 4 times about a second apart, then select the second set of coordinates, T002, on each station before you pickle each of the last 4 weapons. Okay folks, here we are in the cockpit at Tonopah, and this is our first mission. We've got the J-82, which is the GPU-38, the 500-pound JDAM weapon, and I have two purposes. The first is to review the GPS weapon preparation procedures, getting ready to drop, and then demonstrate single pass destruction using 8 of these little suckers. Okay, I'm going to do all the loading airborne, so we're going to go ahead and taxi on out of here, get out of the maintenance there here, and I will see you on the range. Okay, we've been cleared for takeoff, and I've got my seat armed. I've got my nose wheel steering in low gain. I've got 12 on my trim, and I'm going to burner, making this a roll and go. And we'll just speed up and let the airplane take off itself. I like to see about 150 knots. Then come back on the stick, set an attitude, and then get the gear up and the flaps up, and then check and down, make sure we've got a clean airplane, which we do. Accelerate a little bit, and we'll switch up to range control. Okay, let's go ahead and turn on this FLIR pod, get it going, and let's do our fencing check for today's drop. I'm going to turn on all the switches that I kind of normally do, even though we won't use most of them, or at least some of them. Okay, now it's just we're going to go ahead and set up the weapon here. So let's select it to get the alignment starting, and essentially it's taking the aircraft alignment and putting it into the weapons, and it does all the weapons at once. And so we'll go down to get the fusing, and we'll select instantaneous for today. We like to see those booms right away. And then since we're going to do this in target of opportunity, I'm going to put all 4 stations in TOO mode. And whenever you change a station between PP and TOO, it changes all weapons on that station. Okay, and we stop at station 8. Okay, now I've got a bunch of targets on Bravo 20 that are attached to waypoints 1 through 8, so I'm going to assign them to our 8 weapons. So let's go to the JDAM display page, the mission page, and we'll put all the coordinates in there. And we don't need to wait for the FLIR to be ready to do this, so we're going to go ahead and just start designating targets. So that's in 1. I'm going to switch to the second weapon on that station, and it dragged those coordinates, which I don't want there, so I'm going to change them to target 2. And then I'm going to switch to the second station, change the target, designate it, change the weapon, and change the target, and designate, change the station to 7, change the target, designate, change the weapon, change the target, and then designate, and then the last station here, we'll go ahead and change to 7th, we'll designate, and then for the last weapon I'm going to go step to 2 of them, go to waypoint 9. Let's stick with waypoint 8. Yeah, let's go to waypoint 8. Now let's go to waypoint 9, and we'll designate.
Okay, now that I've got all the weapons designated, the first thing I want to do is undesignate and put my pod back into snowplow mode. We've got good altitude, and I just kind of want to keep turning towards the target. There's the TMR. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger here. And we'll just kind of pull towards the diamond there on the target. Looks like it's overlaying pretty nicely. And on the heading tape, I want to put this caret over the little diamond there. That represents the attack heading. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put the autopilot on so I can do some administrative work. Okay, let's just take a look at what we got here. First of all, the pod is in snowplow, so I can go ahead and change these. And what I want to do is put all the coordinates on the first weapon for each station, and make sure that all the stations have 2 sets of coordinates. Okay, there's station 2, 2 sets. Station 7, 2 sets. Station 3, 2 sets. And station 8, I think I already saw, has 2 sets, but put them all on T001. And okay, it looks pretty good. We'll line up and we'll just wait for TMR. We're about a minute away. Okay, 15 seconds. And if we drop right at the TMR, it's quite possible our 1 or 2 of our bombs won't make it. So we're going to go ahead and wait till we get into the end zone. You've got the TMR max range, the min range circle, and then this pie-shaped trapezoid in zone indication. Okay, we're in range now, and we've got the caret and the diamond lined up, and we're just waiting for in zone, and it's coming up here pretty quick. Okay, there's in zone, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All had individual coordinates. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, all 8 weapons are away, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on autopilot. Leave it on autopilot, and we'll go down and see what's going on. Okay folks, here we are, run 2, coming up on Bravo 20. We have the same weapon, the 500-pound JDAM. We got 8 of those mothers, and we've been retasked. The airplane that was tasked with taking out the runway in Bravo 20 was delayed or had a maintenance problem, couldn't take off. We don't have any coordinates for the runway, but we have the right weapons, and so the powers that be said, go get it. So essentially I'm going to use the HMD to get a pointer coordinate. So I'm going to first go sensor select forward, which puts it on the HUD in the HMD. Looking over at Bravo 20, I'll mark it. And now I'm going to move this around to get where I think the runway is, which is right about there, I think, pretty close to it. So then I'm going to come down here, mark it as Mark 1, and then I'm going to go down and select Mark 1 and mark designate here, boom, and that's pretty close. And now I want to make some designation points for the rest of the dimpies for the runway, and I'm going to put this on autopilot with a little bit of a turn, and so I can focus on this. Now, a couple things I want to do. I want to go to the JDAM display mission, and this first coordinate is the HMD designation, and I need to fix that. So let's go ahead and go sensor select right, in, find the runway, okay, and move it in, go to narrow point of view, and let's put that first waypoint right there, boom. So now that updates that waypoint, and I want to switch to the next weapon and then move the designation point down the runway, designate, and then step to the next station. Then I want to put one right here at the intersection, designate, select the next weapon, and then I want to put one right about halfway between that one and there, designate, step to the next station, then one right here at this taxiway intersection, designate, and then let's see, next weapon, and come down here about halfway between that and the next taxiway, right about there, designate. Uh-oh, we got a cloud coming up. Step. Oh man. It'll come out. Come on. Oh, okay. Let's see. Now I know where I am. Let's make sure we get this right. Okay, this one needs to go right there. Designate. And then select the last weapon, and we'll put it right down here. And designate. And now go to snowplow. And let's go ahead and turn towards the target. Put the carrot on the heading tape diamond. And let's go back to autopilot because I have a few more administrative things to do. And we want to just make sure we're in snowplow, make sure we have individualized coordinates, and we'll step through and put them all the weapons on the first weapon. And we're back at station 8, and we're in range. We want to be in zone. We're almost there. Take it off of autopilot, steer back to the diamond. We're in zone. Okay, the first drop, first pickles, 1, 2, 3, 4 are all right away, and then the last 4 we have to select the second weapon on each station to get them to come off with the right coordinates. And there we go. So that's essentially 8 weapons all up to gravity now. Okay, let's go down and take a look here. Okay, folks, here we are on the third run. This is with the JDAM J109 2,000-pound bunker buster, and that's our mission today. We're going to go out and find some bunkers and hopefully destroy them. There's 4 bunkers, and I've got 4 weapons, so that's a good news. I could use my HMD to get us in the right area, but I was given, fortunately, a set of coordinates. that got us into the area, and with that hopefully we can search in that local area and find the bunkers. So I'm coming down here. I put those coordinates in waypoint 3, and I'll go ahead and designate those. It gets us into the Bravo 20 area, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on autopilot for while I do some administrative stuff here. Put a little bit of a turn in it to keep us going in the right direction, and we'll take a look. Okay, I want to sensor select right so that I can move my FLIR around looking for the bunkers. Let's see if I can find the bunkers anywhere. I know they're on here somewhere, but some kind of search pattern maybe. We know they're there somewhere. Okay, looks like we found them. Let's see. Let's go ahead and zoom in. And we'll do this. And we'll put this on the first one we want to attack here. Right about there. And let's go to the JDAM display mission page. And those the original set of coordinates. I'm going to update them by designating. Changes them. And now we've got one weapon per station, so I'm going to step to the next weapon, station 2, and I'm going to move the designating diamond to the station across the way there, or the little bunker, tiny little bunker. That's close enough probably, we'll see, and designate, and then we'll go to the third station weapon, come over to this other little bunker, and that should be right in the middle of it, hopefully. Boom. Designate that one, and then the final weapon we'll put into the weapons locker here, so we can get some good secondaries from that thing. Okay, let's designate that, and now that I've got all 4 designated, I'm going to undesignate, as you can see down here, and I've got the pod in the snowplow mode. Now I want to take it off autopilot and fly to put the carrot over the heading tape diamond to get us going in the right direction. And we've got a little ways till we get to the TMR. And I'm going to put it briefly back on autopilot while I do some additional administrative stuff to figure this out. Okay, let's take a look at this. We've got we want to have 4 individual coordinates, so cycle through there. Okay, and that's 4 different sets, and I'm going to be back on station 8. Let's blow this up, and we want to get to the TMR. So that's basically how you do it. So I'm going to come off autopilot, and we'll just drive in there. Okay, we're now in range, waiting for the in zone indication. Okay, we're now in zone, so off we go. Pickle, 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 pickle. Okay, and we'll go down and take a look. Okay folks, here we are west of Bravo 20, and we're continuing with the exploration of pointer coordinates, and we're going to use the ground radar this time to point towards some ships that are in the Bravo 20. They're at port there in Bravo 20. It's an old dry lake bed, so they've been there a while. In any case, the radar has a limitation where you can't look straight down it. You have to look kind of offset. So we're going to put it off to the left, fly off to the right so that the targets are going to be on the left side of the screen there. And we're going to use it to point towards what we want to hit, and then maybe switch the designation to the FLIR pod to fine-tune it, and you'll see how it goes. Okay, that's probably a good offset right about like that. Come back here, and we will turn the autopilot on, and we'll go sensor select to the right screen. And I think that this area right in here is Bravo 20, so I'm going to go ahead and fine-tune it and blow it up using EXP1. And I think that is the case, so we're going to just fine-tune it even more with EXP2. And I think these are the ships right here, so I'm going to bring it down over here. Whoops. Right there, and we'll go to EXP3. And I believe that is the ship, so I'm going to designate that and switch to the FLIR rather, and take it in. Right, sensor select right, bring it in, and then bring this over, designate it, and kind of, I guess that's about where I want it. Maybe just a little bit down, right? Yeah, that's good. Okay, and now I'm going to go to JDAM display, mission, and I want all the bombs to go in the same hole. So we are going to step, des, step, des, step, des, and then step. So all the coordinates should be the same, and I'll cycle through them one more time to make sure all the coordinates are the same. We're at station 8, and I'm going to deselect the pod so it doesn't give us some other coordinates. And now we're going to put the heading diamond over the caret, or the caret over the heading diamond, and then drill in till we get to the in range, in zone marker. So I'm going to blow those things up so we can see where they are. And just about at in range. Okay, we're in range. Now just waiting for in zone. Caret over the diamond. And there's in zone. So a couple of potatoes, and then boom, 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 boom. Okay, there's all 4 weapons. Going back on autopilot, and we are going to go take a look. See if we got all 4 weapons in the same hole. 2 of them, 3. I guess that's all 4. There it is, the 4th one. Whoa, took a while to get there. But all basically in the same hole. So, pretty good. Pretty decent. Okay, folks, here we are east of Bravo 20. We've got the 154 Charlie, the JSOW, and we're going to go against 8 targets on a single run, and we're going to use the waypoint desig method of entering coordinates. So we've got 2 set in the mode, we've got the fuse set instantaneous, and we're going to go to the JSOW display and then mission, and we're going to set up some coordinates. And I got some random coordinates that I've got put in here, so we're just going to put them in there. Right now I'm going to go to autopilot just so I can focus on that. And so make sure, first of all, that I get rid of the designation, so I'm in snowplow, and then we'll go through and step through real quick to put all the weapons on the first station. And while we're doing that, just making sure that there are individual coordinates in there for each weapon, and it looks like that's the case. Ending on station 8. We're now just about reaching the TMR line, about 4 seconds to go. So looking good. We're in snowplow. We've got weapons selected, or air to ground. And so I'm going to come off the autopilot. We're in range, and we just want to drill in a little bit just to get a little bit more. Standard reasons. Okay, now when they come off, obviously it's the first 4 pickles are all by themselves right in a row, and I think we're inside the margins, so I'm going to go ahead and start pickling. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then after the 4th weapon we have to select the 2nd weapon on each station so that we have those individual coordinates. Okay, and that's pretty much it. And the rest is up to gravity here. So let's go ahead and go to autopilot again. Mostly in the village, but we'll just kind of take a look at it here. Okay folks, here we are just outside Bravo 20 with the JSOW weapon, the JSE Charlie. And we are going to continue on with demonstrating the pointer coordinate technique of adding coordinates to a weapon. And so I'm going to use the sensor select to the HUD, which transfers it to the HMD. And we're looking over our shoulder right over there. It's Bravo 20. And designate the first one. And now once I designate it, I can actually move it around with a TDC switch, as long as the diamond is serrated like that, not fully. Kind of. Anyways, I want to put it right kind of in the Bravo 20 area, and I'm going to go ahead and put that under Mark 1, and I'm going to go down to Mark 1, and I'm going to designate it as the target. And once we come around, we can, and I'm going to go ahead and take it off of autopilot and TDC temporarily, and bring it around so that we're a little closer to the run-in line there. And I'm going to go ahead and put it back on autopilot so I can focus on entering coordinates and TDC as well. Okay, now I'm going to sensor select to the right DDI, and I'm going to focus in on where I think those targets are. And sure enough, that's where they are right there, those targets. Go to narrow field of view and just put that first set of coordinates. So I'm going to go to JSOW display, mission, and there they are. Actually doesn't look like it's there. We go. Click on it, and I got to designate it. And then we will move to the next weapon, and we have 8 of them on board. So that is for that target. So I'm going to go up here to the next target. Actually, I did this wrong. That's the first one right there. desig, and then switch and then move. Desig, step to the next station. There it is, and then desig, select the last weapon on the last station and on the last desig. And now that I've got all of them, I'm going to go ahead and go back to snowplow, and let's just go through it quick here. Let's go back to station 8, making sure all the weapons are or all the stations are selected to their first weapon, and make sure they all have individual coordinates. Okay, and we're back to station 8. And we're now, it looks like we're inside the TMR, so we're in range. And so we want to get back over here and launch as soon as possible. Okay, we'll go ahead and pickle those off. Remember now, first 4 pickles. And so let's go back to here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and we'll see how that goes. And I'm going to go back to autopilot quickly, and we'll go to the end of the line. Looks like we got all 8 of them. Okay, these next 2 runs are going to be using the 154 Alpha, the canister weapon, JSEA or JSA, and we have got the timing almost completed. In fact, it's a good alignment. We've got instantaneous, and we've got 2 selected for all the weapons. So I'm going to go to the JSOW display page mission, and now we're going to stick in some coordinates. But we're going to get those using the HMD. So we will sensor select forward and transfer to the HMD, and desig out there. And let's see, we're going to get something that's kind of in the front corner here. Oops, not quite that far. Right about there. Okay, and I'm going to transfer that to Mark 1, and I'm going to go down to Mark 1, and I'm going to desig. And now that I've got it on my FLIR, I'm going to go sensor select right and take a look through there and desig, but I want to go to here. This is the encampment that we're going after, so we'll bring it in, go narrow, and go ahead and drop 4 sets of coordinates. Now these tend to fall a little long, so I'm going to have these a little bit short here, right about there. Desig, and since we only have 4 of these weapons, we will just step right through it. So I'll come over here, again a little bit short, desig, and then step, then we'll come over here, and again a little bit short, desig, and last one we'll put it right over here about halfway across, maybe right about there. That's probably good. Desig, and then that's the 4th one, so we're gonna put the pod in snowplow, And we are going to go ahead and pull all the way around. Okay, and once we're inbound, we'll put the carrot over the heading tape diamond. And get some more speed. I'm going to go into autopilot here because we want to drop this from as far away as possible, so more speed is good. And let's just go ahead and check this out here. There should be 4 independent coordinates. So we are in snowplow. So step, that's 8, 2, 7, and 3. Now they're pretty similar coordinates, but you would expect that. And leaving it on station 8 as we drill in. Okay, coming up on in range, and we'll just wait about 15 potatoes to make sure there's maneuvering energy at the end and that our weapons can actually make it to the target. And I think that's probably pretty good, so here we go. There's only 4 weapons, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 are off. And we will go to autopilot again. And so I'm going to go ahead and go down there. And we'll just see how this goes. This is the encampment. Now this is with a 1,500 foot canister opening height. So we'll try that and see how this looks first, and then we'll maybe come back and do it one more time with a smaller, lower burst height or opening height. Okay, that looks pretty widespread. It almost looks like it kind of favored to the right there. Not sure what that's all about. Maybe the wind. Okay, folks, here we are east of Bravo 20, and we're working again with the JSA 154 Alpha canister weapon. We're using a 600 foot opening height for the canister instead of the 1,500 foot that we did last run. And now that they're all designated, I'm going to undesignate and turn to the heading for the target. And we'll put it on autopilot one more time just for the winds. And let's just go ahead and examine what we got here. Everything is good. We're in snowplow here. And we can start stepping through here. Stepping 8 is a set of coordinates. Okay, it looks like they're all different. And I put in some headings and 600 foot and all that stuff in there. So we'll just drop when we're ready. 5 seconds to TMR. And we'll go inside TMR a little bit. I'm going to leave it on. There we go. And I think we're far enough inside, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 weapons away. Well, let's go on down there. Okay, here we are approaching Bravo 20 with the SLAM missile. We're going to do 2 runs. The first run is going to be shooting all 4 at one time. We won't be utilizing the data link pod, even though we are carrying it. And I'm going to go ahead and put in the coordinates. I've already got the flight profile set to high, the fuse to instantaneous, so we're going to go to the SLAM display. And these, we're going to use manual, and we're also going to go to the mission page so we can load up coordinates. Now it's the same row of tanks at the far end, so we're going to go ahead and designate the first one. And then we'll undesignate to put the pod back in the snowplow mode. And now I'm going to cycle through these just to show you that we've got individualized coordinates for all 4 weapons. And we'll come back to 8. And we're about ready to hit the maximum range. So one other thing that we should take note of is that, and I'm going to go back to this page to demonstrate it, is that it doesn't auto-sequence with a pickle. So we have to manually step between weapons to pickle them all off. Okay, we're now in range. We've got the target looking like it's pretty much aimed where we hope it is. We want it to go, and we want to be well inside the max range before we shoot. Maybe about 53, 52 miles, something like that. Coming off of autopilot for the launch, and getting ready to step. And when we get to about, I guess about here, we can launch. I think we're well inside, so there's the first launch. Obviously, no auto step, so we're going to step manually. Launch that weapon off. Again, manual step. And once again, a manual step and a launch. Okay, and we'll go ahead and return this to autopilot. Yeah, it's a pretty long shot. And there's the row of tanks. Okay folks, here we are approaching Bravo 20 for our second SLAM run, and I'm going to put this on autopilot for a few minutes. And we are going to use the DL13 pod this time, so we're going to select that, and notice that that gives us this option down here, which we'll get to in a second. We already set the flight profile to high, the fusing to instantaneous, and we are going to change the distance to 15. But so let's go ahead and update or pair one of our weapons to the pod. This is a SLAM on station 2, 3, 7, and 8. We're going to select the one on station 8 to pair with it, which is the one we have selected here. And now we're going to go to the SLAM display, and we're going to go to UFC, to distance, to 1.5, and then enter. Okay, and we're gonna go back to this page, and you can see the distance is now 15. And so we're going to go ahead and pair to station 8 our tank at waypoint 11. And we're approaching the max range here pretty quickly, but let's go ahead and go to here to see our coordinates. And there they are. That's station, or that's tank 11, proper elevation. And I'm going to step through the other ones just to show you that we're not using any of the other stations. And notice I didn't take it out of, it's still designated. And I've switched stations, but because I have all the other ones in PP, they're not getting the coordinates. And we're back to station 8, and that's still tank 11, or tank 11. And we're well inside now, and so I want to get ready to launch here. And so I'm going to go back to this page, and we're going to take it off autopilot and align the caret, and we're going to go ahead and launch. Boom. Okay, now that it's launched, I'm going to trim it out. Okay, and then I'm going to do a kind of a 360 here. Maybe a little bit of a racetrack pattern, just to give some spread between the missile and ourselves. Now, there is an aft antenna that we could use to track the seeker head when it starts transmitting, but my experience is that it doesn't give a very good picture. Even sometimes the forward antenna doesn't give the greatest picture. But I'm going to roll out here just for a second or two. Just touch it wings level and then start in. Now you can see the we are already in range, but the time to seeker head turn on is about 160 seconds or so. So a little less than about 2.5 minutes now, a little bit more than that. Or less, actually. And again, when I come around, I want to align the caret and the diamond on the heading line. And here we come. And we can see that the target diamond is kind of overlaying what we think is the target, which is great. And once I get it all squared away here, I'll go ahead and put it on autopilot again. Okay, now I'm going to deselect the SLAM here to give us the picture we want. And we can see that it's channel 8, and we launched from station 8, which is a match. And you can see the target is kind of coming into view. And I'm going to go ahead and go right and zoom in a little bit. And then I'm going to go back to the sensor select left to put the control here on the left screen. One thing to remember is that if you... Okay, see, there's a good picture, so that's a really great picture. And you can see it's now leveling off at a lower altitude. So in order to control this, I have to depress the TDC switch, and then I can control it, which is what I'm going to do, because I think I have pretty good control here. And I can see the tank that I'm looking for, and that's this one right there, so I'm just going to drive right into it. If I release it, it locks, and it locked right on it. Now if you've got a nice, easily visible target like these are, then you can do that. Preferably you would let it fly and then only make corrections if required. as you saw, these are pretty accurate weapons. And this actually changed the profile a little bit, I'm sure, but it's still chugging along pretty good. And we're still 27 miles from the target. It's got a good lock. And there we go. Good hit. Hammer driving through a cloud. Okay, folks, approaching Bravo 20 for the JDAM Loft demo. We've got the 2,000-pound version, and I've got instantaneous. We've got 2 selected on all of them, so I'm going to go to the JDAM display mission, and I'm going to put in some coordinates real quick. We're going to go in 25, step, and then 26, step, and the last one, and last weapon, air. Whoops, I hit the air to ground, didn't want to do that. And we want to undesignate. Okay, get the heading diamond over the caret. Got a long ways to go, so I want to get some speed here. And I've got to put those those step individualized coordinates, hopefully. 7 seconds to go. And I'm going to go ahead and pull. 7, boom, 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 and then pull off. And we'll see how those weapons go. And I can watch from here to see how they go. And I aimed at the last 4 in that line over there. All right, good hits. Okay, here we are approaching Bravo 20 with the another low-level Loft demonstration with the 154 Charlie this time, the winged bomb. We've got it the fusing set. We are in 2 mode for all 4 weapons, and I'm going to go to the JSOW display and enter some coordinates. Now we've got we're going to shoot at the tanks again at the back row, so we're going to designate that first one, and since we only have 4 weapons on board, we're just going to step right through them and then go to the next tank. Step, next tank, and step for the final weapon and the final tank. And we're still approaching the TMR, and I'm going to cycle through these real quick to make sure I've got individualized coordinates after I undesignate. So now it's in snowplow mode, and let's see, we got there's station 8, 2, 7, and 3, and back to 8. And now I just want to increase my speed and get to TMR as fast as I can go. Since we're at low altitude, we want to send these winged bombs as far as we can. The advantage there is that we're going to be further from the target. I guess the disadvantage is that I'm going to wake up some folks at this airport. And I've got my rate out set at 100 feet so that it'll ding just before I crash. Okay, we're down to 33 seconds, and ideally I'll pop before I get to this ridge, hopefully, and we'll also hopefully avoid this power line here. 16 seconds. Okay, I think we're going to make it. Okay, I'm going to zoom up to 15 degrees. And I'm going to wait till we clear this ridge, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and off they go. And I am going to follow these weapons into the target. Okay. So bear down on it a little bit. And I'm going to put the flare now over on 12 desig, just to get it focused on there. And you can see the diamond through the HMD. And just a real quick peek at where the weapons are. Looks like they're approaching, so I'm going to go ahead and turn in. Boom, boom, boom. There they are. Got all 4 of them. Okay. Okay, folks. We're back with the SLAM. And we're going to demo a Loft. We're going to do it in the manual mode, because the software really isn't set up for this, but I'm just going to demo to show you what you can do. I've got the alignment almost completed here. We've got the flight profile to low. We've got the fusing at instantaneous, and we're not going to use the pod, so we're not worried about the distance. I've got it in the TO mode. I'm going to go to the SLAM display mission, and obviously this is going to be in manual, like I said. And we're going to put the 4 weapons in there to launch all 4. So standard method, and then step to station 2, go to tank 12, designate, step 13, desig, and last step to 3, tank 14, desig, and then go to snowplow so we don't screw anything up. And we want to align the carrot and the diamond. And we're about 38 seconds from TMR. And we're going to step through real quick just to see that we have individualized coordinates. That's 11, 12, 13, and 14. Back to station 8. And remember, with SLAMs, it doesn't auto sequence when you step or when you hit the pickle, and so you're going to have to manually step between each weapon as you launch them. And we're still 50 some miles from the target, and there's no way they're going to see us. We're pretty down, you've got all this rock between us, so at a pretty safe distance, we're going to try to launch. Now we're only 15 seconds from TMR, but we're going to go all the way to this rock formation in front of us before we start our climb. So we're going to be well within the TMR range, but we're going to take a look. Since we've got the low profile set, so we'll just see how it works. Combat mode's all selected. definitely in range. Okay, we're going to start pulling up. 15. Make sure we're well clear of that. And then we're going to go ahead and go to this page to watch it. And I'm going to go ahead and release, step. Notice that it didn't auto. It's a manual. Okay. And now we're going to bug out. Except that I'm actually going to follow the weapons along. So I've got some lateral separation, so I'm going to come back towards the target. And I'm going to have to speed up because those things are going pretty fast. And since all the weapons are off the airplane, I'm going to go ahead and go to 12 and desig to get my pod back on the target. And I'm going to go to sensor select right and zoom in just so we can watch the action here. I can't zoom it quite the way I want it. There they are. Boom. 4 hits. Not bad.